Hello everybody, Trano here, and today we are taking a look at the Zrinyi 2 self-propelled gun, which is the new Hungarian assault gun on the Hungarian subtree. Now, as you can see, this is very similar to the Zrinyi 1, which came to War Thunder in the summer event last year. The big difference is that this has a 75mm gun, whereas the Zrinyi 2 has the 105mm gun. Now, the armour is pretty similar to the Zrinyi 1, so you've got this sort of weak spot here, which is only about 44mm thick. And you've also got this weak spot here, which is only 50mm thick, and 50mm here, although effective thickness does go up a little bit. But then these areas here, 75mm thick, which is pretty good. The sides are again a bit weak, only about 25mm. And the rear is again about 25mm, though there is some sloping which does help to mitigate some of that. And of course the 105mm howitzer itself comes with two shells. One is a high explosive shell with 27mm penetration, and then you've got this heat shell with 120mm penetration, which is pretty damn good. I mean, this is battle rating 2.7, and it's got the same penetration as the Semavente 102-25's heat shell, which is also 120mm, and it's got a reload rate of 13 seconds, compared to the Zrinyi 1 at 7.6 seconds. And it's also got a max speed of 24.9 miles per hour off a 230 horsepower engine. And again, like with the Zrinyi 1 and Turan 1, it appears to have the same speed forward and same speed backwards. So you've got 6 gears forward and 6 gears rearwards. Now, one of the unfortunate things about this tank is, unfortunately, the crew placement. So you've got your gunner and commander seated right at the front here, and the commander is right behind the gunner, so if you take a shell there, you are going to lose your commander. And then with your driver here, if you lose the driver, you're probably going to lose the loader. Though it could be worse, you could have your loader and commander on one side and your driver and gunner on the other, which would really screw you over unless the commander could take over the gun, which obviously he can't. And it has a vertical targeting speed of 2.2 degrees a second and a targeting speed horizontally of 8.3. And it's got a horizontal guidance of 18 degrees either way, which I think is different to the Zrinyi 1. I believe that had a slight advantage in one direction versus the other. Yeah, it had -12 one direction, +10 the other. And here are the modifications that you can unlock. And we're just going to quickly show off the camouflages. So you've got your standard, got your tricolor wavy camouflage, and the winter camouflage. We're just going to start off by accelerating forward, and as you can see, it has got this slat armor on the side, this sort of mesh armor, which is primarily to help stop heat rounds. So we've quickly got up to 20 miles per hour and about the same speed as with the Turan 1. We've very quickly taken out that Staghound. Try our luck against the roving tank over here, though I suspect we're not going to get it. Now we got a hit, but we didn't do any damage. And of course, like with the Zrinyi 1, it has a very low profile, which can help when trying to lay ambushes against enemies. But it can also be a bit of a disadvantage because, of course, if you're low down, that means you can't exactly see over cover that you're hiding behind. I'm going to quickly cross the river and just take it up to the top speed we can get on the muddy terrain, because of course that is where it's primarily going to be. Of course, it doesn't come with any secondary armament, so you are relying entirely on this gun. The Zrinyi 1, of course, did have those rocket launchers, but I never particularly found them useful, so I'm not entirely sure if that's a bad thing that these are gone. And of course, you have got these tracks around the frontal hull, which I don't think can be removed. So they do provide a little bit extra protection compared to with the Zrinyi 1, but it's not going to really save you, to be honest. And yeah, so we seem to be leveling out. Oh no, we are still accelerating a little bit. Yeah, I reckon we will got to our top speed, which was about 25 miles per hour, I think. Which, yeah, we seem to have done. It seems to break fairly quickly. And of course, like I said, this can go backwards at the same speed it can go forwards, or the max speed is the same as going forward. If we can quickly demonstrate that. Yeah, 25 miles per hour backwards. So this will be very good at escaping dangerous situations because you can just quickly reverse back at the same top speed as going forward. So yeah, that is the Srini 2. And yeah, honestly, I think this will be a very good assault gun. It will do very well in the tank destroyer role. The high explosive shell might struggle a little bit against some of the other tanks, especially if you get into an up tier, into 3.7. But once you get that heat shell, I think you'll be able to deal with pretty much any enemies you come across. And yeah, I think this is a very good SPG. Of course, as I've mentioned before, it's a bit of a shame the Turan 2 wasn't added, because then we could have had that here as well, maybe folded with the Turan 1. And that could have also played a little bit of an assault gun role, because it had a short 75mm gun. So it would have been nice to have both vehicles, but it is good that they have added the Srini 2 to the regular tech tree. Anyway, just a quick video for today. Hopefully you've enjoyed it. I've been Tyranno, and I'll see you next time.